everybody. Now they come to live, food and coffee. Got my coffee here. hmm Yum. Double espresso for me today. That's because I love my double espressos. Okay, let's get us started. I'm going to read today. I have a lot going on in my life, and I can tell you what's going on. Good morning, Jeff. But I will go ahead and do some reading from the book today. Okay. Good morning, Kim. Let's see. A little bit later today. Why? Because I go in later to work. That's why my schedule's all over the place, but that's good, I guess. Okay. So, in the whole of your life, nobody has ever abused you more than you have abused yourself. We've talked about this again. Good morning, Ricky. If you abuse yourself, uh, no. I want to read this. Okay, we have the need to be accepted and to be loved by others, but we cannot accept and love ourselves. The more self-love we have, the less we will experience self-abuse. Self-abuse comes from self-rejection, and self-rejection comes from having an image of what it means to be perfect and never measuring up to that ideal. Our image of perfection is the reason we reject ourselves. It is why we don't accept ourselves in the way we are and why we don't accept others the way they are. Okay. So, I should move because that I think is loud. Good morning. I don't know if you guys can hear because there's my mom's wrapping presents, so perhaps I should move. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, only because. Hey, Will. I missed an episode. I was busy at school. Oh, no worries, Will. You don't. It's all good. Good morning. Oh, good morning, Charles. How are you? Okay, so prelude to a new dream. There are 1,000 of agreements you've made with yourself, with people, with your dream of life, with God, with society, with your parents, with your spouse, with your children. But the most important agreements are the ones that you made with yourself. This is important. What agreements, good morning, Doreen, have you made with yourself? And I did send a post out, right? Good morning, Justin, to a bunch of people who follow Spirit and Coffee. And what did I say on Spirit and Coffee when I did that? It's about you. It's not about me. I know how I'm living my life. How are you living your life? That's what matters the most. That's why I commend you for showing up to Spirit and Coffee, especially the ones who do it consistently, because you're showing up for yourself. You're telling yourself, how do I become a better person? How do I figure out what my agreements are or what my values are or what my principles are? And how do I stand firm? Good morning, Ryan, on those principles. Most people don't do that. They spend their life doing what? Well, they just kind of go with the flow. Now, is there anything wrong with that? No, there's nothing wrong with that. We're not here to say they're right, wrong, good, or bad. But you are standing firm in what? In your ability to say, hey, I have principles that I live by. I have values. I want to understand, how do I support myself? The thing is we spend so much time focused on everybody else and what we think that they should do for their life, right? Rather than focusing on our own. So I'm highly encouraging you guys to continue to look at what your values and principles are. Create your foundation. Now, here's the deal, right? I was speaking to one of my spiritual teachers the other day, and spiritual guides, I should say. And her and I just love her, right? She's an older. Good morning, Rachel. She's older. She's a wise woman. She's been through a lot, and her and I meet quite often because I get advice from her, and I also get spiritual guidance from her. And we were talking about the fact that we get to set the foundation for our lives. We do, not anybody else, not expecting that other people would do it for you, not thinking that everybody's gonna support you and the foundation in which you stand on. This is up to you. This is your life. So part of it is we are coming into a 4, which I didn't realize, Now, when we come into a 4, so the new year is a 4, which is foundation. How do we build the foundations of our life? The foundations that allow us to build our tower, not a Jenga tower, because Jenga is, you pull one block and all the blocks come tumbling down. I'm talking about setting a solid foundation, a firm foundation, which you can build upon. When you start to build the foundation that you can build upon, you're kind of like the pyramids. Think about the pyramids in Egypt. Where have they gone? Nowhere. Why? Because they were set on the firm foundation, right? So, but when we think about like houses, right? So some of these houses were built not on a good foundation, they fall apart. Even in a car, right? You're always looking at the framework of a car, right? Did it need adjustment? If it did it get in an accident? If it did, how is the frame? The frame is the foundation that keeps the car together, right? Even in our bodies, if we're looking at our bodies, we're setting a firm foundation for our health. So again, it's all based on foundation. How are we setting up our own values for yourself? And those could be the 4 agreements. Does it make sense that it's 4 agreements? Sure, because why? When we set up a foundation, we typically set it up with 4 things, 4 pillars, right? We usually have a square is usually the solid foundation for anything. And then we build upon that. And like the pyramids, they're not, it looks like a triangle. It looks like it's 3, right? But it's not, it's 4. It has 4 sides and then it comes up because we know that the square is foundational. Good morning, Lewis. What are the agreements that you have with yourself? Now, this book provides you, good morning, Mark, an opportunity to look at the foundations that you have with yourself, but does it mean that that has to be it, right? You can create your own. This is just a guide. And these books are just information that's being recycled from a long time ago. Don Miguel Ruiz didn't make this up. What he did is he got ancient wisdom and retold the story again so that from a different way, a different perspective, a different lens. And that's kind of what we do. We start to say, what is our lens and how do we recreate what it is that we want to recreate from our own perspective? So you've got to start looking internally, or don't. Totally up to you. Okay. So the agreements to tell yourself who you are, what you feel, what you believe, and how to behave. The result is what you call your personality. In these agreements, you say, this is what I am. This is what I believe. I can do certain things and some things I cannot do. This is reality. That is fantasy. This is possible. That is impossible. So we start to shape our reality based on our belief system. And we know this, right? We've heard it over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. A man who thinketh, or the man who thinketh. I've read that book. Also, tons and tons of books, right? About what does it say are the greatest salesmen in the world. What does it tell us? It tells us that our thoughts shape the way that we behave in the world. It just does. So most people, good morning, Hassan. Good morning, Ellie98. Good morning, Marcos. Most people, right, won't sit out, pause, and listen to the conversation that's happening in their head. We tend to stay busy. Why? Because then it'll drown out all of that information for us. So take a pause out and start to listen to the conversations that you have in your head, or don't, okay? Good morning, Evan. When we start to listen to the conversations that we have in it, we start to realize what type of world we're shaping for ourselves. Remember, you guys are the creator of your life. You guys are the ones that are shaping and molding what happens in your life, what you're seeing show up, what you're manifesting. And guess what? The parts of your life you don't like, guess who created that? You did. That's the fun part of the work, right? When you're like, everything's up in smoke and it's shit's happening and everything's flying and it's chaotic and you're like, I can't, good morning, Olivia, I can't handle it. And guess who created that? You. And we'll say, well, I didn't create it. Yeah, subconsciously you did. And if it is something that you're trying to get out of, it's looking at the conversations in your brain What is my mind telling me? What conversations do I have with myself? What agreements do I have with myself? How do I maneuver or shift the conversation into a mindset that's going to serve me to create what I want to create, to manifest what I want to see what I want to see in the world, to behave and to interact with the world the way that I choose? That takes a lot of what? Self-discipline. It takes awareness. It takes you taking a time out. It takes you, I don't know, listening to music. I don't know, whatever it is you enjoy doing. What do you enjoy doing? Those things that ignite that inner joy within you. But here's what happens with most people. They're like, I ain't responsible for that. It's them, not me. I'm constantly seeking feedback. Why? Because it's important that we understand where we are and we can understand how to shift. Without the feedback, we don't understand that. Without the feedback, we can never move in a different direction. Without understanding our brain or being self aware or stop pausing and listening to what's going on in our head and to be honest with it, not to lie about it. Like just be forward and front and authentic and real. People who know me know that I am just real. I'm just going to throw it out there. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Do people get pissed at me? Sure. Am I doing it out of love? Yes. Not doing it out of harm. Doing it out of wake up. Wake up. There's something bigger happening. When you're looking at the surface and you're looking at the things in life that are just right in front of you instead of trying to dive deeper into and look at it from a bigger meaning, you're going to stay surface. You're never going to accomplish what you want. It's never going to drive that forward. Okay, one single agreement is not such a problem, but we have many agreements that make us suffer, that make us fail in life. If we want to live a life of joy and fulfillment, you have to find the courage to break those agreements that have fear-based and claim your personal power. These agreements that come from the fear require us to expand a lot of energy, but the agreements that come from love help us conserve energy and gain extra energy. Here's the deal. When we give our energy to fear and to things that are not serving us, we deplete our energy. So if you, let's just say you had jars, right? Jars of energy, and you kept taking from the jar of fear and um unworthiness or whatever it is, you're going to deplete that quicker. It's going to suck the life out of you. When you start to engage in love, you start to get that motivation, that spark of light, the hope that drives you forward. So basically you're charging your batteries. So you can look at it from like what's charging my batteries and what's depleting my batteries. And both, not right, wrong, good, or bad, but both get a result in your life. So really, I highly encourage you. I've told you guys this the other day. Look at your life. Are you getting the results you want? Are you? Are the things that you're wanting in your life showing up the way you want them? Or do you have a disaster and catastrophe and everything's falling to pieces? Now you're going to have people all over the map, right? There's going to be some people are like, I love my life. My life's going great. That is so awesome. But we know that it doesn't last forever. And that we know that what we call tower events are the burning tower or everything chaos comes collapsing all the shit down. And when that happens, what do? If we don't have a firm foundation, personal agreements that bring us back to love to reignite our energy, guess what? We fall into depression, our energy starts to deplete, we start to become sad, we stop moving in forward in life. We take a time out, and it's not that it's wrong to be sad or depressed or hurt. Don't stay there forever though. Like how much time do you need? I'll tell people that. How much time do you need to be sad? I need time sometimes. I'm like, you know what? I need a day. I'll get over it. Mm-mm, not over it. I'll learn to live with it. I'll learn to shift the energy that it ignites within me. That's more powerful when we start to learn how to utilize that energy rather than put this back just a little bit. We learn to utilize the energy rather than try to deny that it exists, which is the critical part, right? It's like, don't deny it, or you can. It's up to you. When you deny it, it just keeps coming up. What you resist persists. That's a big saying that we used to say in our leadership classes. What you resist persists. So if we resist, guess what? It's going to persist. Surrender to it. Hard thing to do. Surrender. Good morning. Is it am I now? Something. Sorry, I don't know how to do this guest call-in thing, so I apologize. One day we'll do it. But I like when people engage and give their input. Let me know if it is helpful. When you guys give input, I'm able to give a better real life examples of what others are going through rather than just myself, because I am not the only one on the planet going through shit. I promise you. Good morning, Sally. Good morning, Jim. So if you guys could just kind of like give me some input, tell me what's going on in your lives. That would be great. Or if you're having challenges and you have questions about stuff, please post them. I will try to support as much as I can. Okay. Let's continue. It's quite noisy in my house today. Everybody's home for the holidays, so y'all get to hear laughing, but it's good. It's good noise. Laughter and joy and present wrapping. Okay. Here we go. Each of us is born with a certain amount of personal power that we build every day after we rest. Unfortunately, we spend all of our personal power first to create all these agreements, and then we keep these agreements. Our personal power is dissipated by all the agreements we have created. And all the result is that we feel powerless. We have just enough power to survive each day because most of it is used to keep the agreements that trap us in the dream of the planet. How can we change the entire dream of our life when we have no power to change even the smallest of agreements? Here we go. Smallest of agreements. Think about it. What this is saying is that when we deplete our energy with these small agreements, they're small. They're not huge. We can let something so tiny upset us. It's quite funny in some ways when you really think about it. And hopefully you'll get to the comical part of life, because I literally can see that part of life is just this big comic strip happening, and some of it is just too funny. The trauma, not, but the drama, yes. And I laugh. I'm like, really? You're going to be upset over something so minute, so tiny. These tiny things that deplete us, are they worthy of your depletion? Really? Think about it. Like, for instance, and this is me, I am a clean freak and I cannot stand things to be unclean. Okay. So, especially the kitchen space. Now, if there's one tiny little crumb, am I going to get upset? No. Now, I had a friend, I'm not going to say names, who I was staying with for a while. And as I stood there, they would get very upset over the tiniest of crumbs and they would let it ruin their day. And I'm like, really? Are you kidding me right now? There is too much in this world to be enjoying for you to get upset over a tiny crumb. Does it make sense? But go ahead. You do you. If that's how you want to live your life, cool beans. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, why? For what purpose? But we do. We let the tiniest of things deplete all of our energy. Now, I like to say tiny because for some it seems huge, but I want to say tiny. And I'm going to tell you why I want to say tiny. I'm saying tiny for a purpose, because I want you to recognize that in order to shift the energy, it takes tiny practices. We're not asking you to change your whole entire world. And by we, I mean Don Miguel Reasonize. Or all of the spiritual guides that are here on this planet trying to support people, right? So we're not asking you to do big major steps. We're saying take tiny baby steps. You just need to pivot just a little bit. It doesn't even have to be a lot. It could just be a tiny little pivot. tiny, incy wincy. And in that incy wincy, tiny little pivot, we open up the gates to what? To our higher self, to a better life, to things that we love. It's just a little bit at a time, not a whole lot. Good morning, Natalie. By the way, Natalie, I sent you an email. Please let me know if you get it. I appreciate it. So we pivot just a little bit. It's not these big things that we need to do, but that's the problem. People take on a big bite-sized chunk, right? They take on more than that they can chew, and then they feel like they're going to fall short because they're like, I can't keep this up. It's kind of like your New Year's resolutions. Most people say, I want to go to the gym, right, for their New Year's resolution. It's the easiest one to talk about right now. So what do? They go to the gym and they think they're going to just work out for 5 hours. And then the first day they're depleted. They're like, I can't do this crap every day. Like, you're not supposed to do that. Like, just go in and like do 20 minutes and then leave. And then when you're ready to add on to that 30 minutes or that 10 more minutes, it's going to be easy. But we're not saying do it all at once. The same thing with your life and energy. We let the tiniest things deplete our energy, the smallest things. Learning to let go, learning to say, okay, this is small. This is not worthy of all my energy. Why am I going to? I dropped a pot of soup the other day. I told you guys about that. Did I let it ruin my day? No, it was tiny. All I had to do was clean it up and move forward. That's it. That's all I had to do. Wow. Oh, hold on 2 seconds because we have someone in the background. Can we not cuss because I'm on live, please? Let's see if they listen. Oh, family during the holidays. There you go. Now you see everybody's home and being loud. Would drive me crazy. Good morning, Robert. Joe! See, here we go. You guys are going to see this live. You've never. Can you not cuss, please? Hold on. Oh my God. I don't know if you can hear him. Can you guys hear him in the background? Please say yes if you can. He's cussing. Dear Lord, baby Jesus. Can we not cuss? No, you can't hear him? Okay. Thanks, Jem. I'm over here yelling. So now you guys see the real me. Stop it. So I had a friend yesterday who came into town, and it was kind of funny because he called me bossy. And I am. I'm sort of bossy, but I'm aware. I'm self-aware of all the things that I do. And I laugh about it because I don't take myself so serious, right? It doesn't have to be my way. But sometimes I'll boss people around like it should be my way, but it's really doesn't end up being my way. Sometimes it does, but really it doesn't. Good morning, Alicia, which is kind of funny. Oh, and happy holidays to everybody. Who's home? Who's home with the family? Who's home and enjoying the family this holiday season? I'm actually going to be alone on Christmas, by the way. My family won't be here, so I'll be spending time by myself. Yeah! I got the house to myself. I'm going to throw a party. How about everybody come over? Good morning, Jan. Just kids. Thank goodness. Oh, good. Thanks for chiming in, Jim. But yeah, the holidays are crazy, right? Sorry, I'm all over the place, but let's just talk about the holidays since that's what's happening right now with people yelling. I feel like I want to talk over him so that I can be, I don't know, it's funny. Me and it's my stepdad. Me and him get into it over and over again. It's kind of funny, but we don't take it serious. That's the thing. We laugh. Like, even if we get into a little tiff, at the end of it, we laugh at each other and we know that it's not that serious. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Life is not that serious. Most things are not that serious. Now, there are times where we do go through some very trying times in our life, and those deserve our attention. Those deserve our energy. Good morning, Toby. But the things that are small, like him talking loud, I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, here you guys get to see me live, exactly how I am in real life. It's annoying me. Am I going to deny that? No. It's annoying me. I'm like, stop talking so loud. You know I do spirit and calm every morning. You're ruining my concentration. But see how I'm laughing? Because it's just me, it's me and what I think it should be, but it's not always my way, especially in the holidays. Okay, so enjoy the holidays. I don't know who you guys are with or if you have your families or whatnot. But don't let the little things bother you in the holidays, especially if you're around people who are like, oh, they drive me nuts. They're driving me bonkers. What do I do? Take time out. I don't know. Go for a little walk. Take a breather. Laugh about it. Know that it's not that serious. It is not that serious. I promise you, you guys. Little tiny things. Keep it light for the holidays. Keeping it light for the. Oh, that's good. Yeah, keep it light for. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to keep it light for the holidays. Oh, good. He got off the phone, you guys. Let's all clap. You guys are being loud. Good morning, Karen. Oh my God. This is funny. But happy holidays. That's what happens. Do you guys want to come say Merry Christmas to Spirit and Coffee? Oh, do you want to come and say it like with your voice? I don't know. Tell these people you love them. Good morning, Gil. I think everybody's home, so they're getting on. How many of you guys are off for the holidays? Can someone tell me? Are you guys like enjoying your time off? You guys are up pretty early if you are off. I usually get up early regardless. I'm an early riser. But say good morning to mom.
Good morning. Merry Christmas.
It's
Happy New Year.
It's 2 days before Christmas here in the Philippines. Yes. Happy Christmas. Happy New Year. I work from home. Oh, good for you. That's awesome. It's nice to work from home. I'm not working from home. Oh, my mom is off for 2 weeks. I'm not off. I get to work. Yay! Why? Because I gotta hustle. Gotta hustle. Good morning, Jennifer. Um, so again, don't let good morning legs. I think people are off for the holidays, 3 weeks off. Oh my God, you are so awesome. I know that's what UNM does. That's what I love about UNM is that they give time off. That's why I think people get on Spirit and Coffee and be like, what's going on Spirit and Coffee? What is this girl talking about? You're live on Christmas Day. Oh yeah, I'm live on Christmas Day. Well, I Monday through Friday. Come hell or high water, I don't care. I'm on all day, every day. And I'll tell you that Christmas Day I'm gonna be by myself. I ain't gonna have nobody here. Which is funny, which is good. So during the holidays, I think this is a great message from the four agreements, right? Is that the tiniest things the tiniest agreements. So it's really hard with family, and I'm going to tell you why. Family puts us into a box. It's not that we don't love our family, right? Good morning, Alicia. It's that our family will put us in a box. And it's like we can never be anything other than what they think we are, which is kind of I loved your talk today. Thank you. You're welcome. So they put us in a box. We can never be anything other than that box. And sometimes we're trying to say, how do we get out of the box? How do I get out of this box? Like I'm always going to be the baby of my family, or I'm always going to be the brat, or I'm always going to be the this, or I'm always going to be the that. And I'm like, I'm not that anymore. Why do you keep putting me in that box? And then you start to behave that way again because old patterns start to rise in our subconscious mind. And then we get frustrated and we're like, I don't want to be around my family because I'm not like this, but they can't see me any other way. They can't see that I've done this, blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not saying this is true for every family. I'm just saying for most people it is. Family's the hardest one. That's why people are like, oh God. Because, they're like, oh, maybe you're the little chunky kid or whatever. And they're like, hey, look at you. Da, da, da. And then you're like, oh my God, really? Or, oh, da, da, da. It's like, can you please just get me out of your mind that way? That's not who I am. Like I've grown, I'm different, I've changed. Like some of the things I have are the same, but some are different. And that's why it's hard for us. But those little things that we can take a time out from and just kind of laugh about it. Ha ha ha, yeah, I was that way, but I'm not like that anymore. Or just being authentically you. Not so easy sometimes. But for me, because I'm so authentically me, my family knows that. That's one thing that I have been is always be myself, always be who I am, be true to myself, be true to who I am. How do we do that? Be true to your agreements. The agreements that are self-serving, the ones that are going to help you increase the energy, not deplete the energy. Because we do that. We do things that deplete our energy and we have none left. I never get off of entrepreneur 24/7. That's right. We're always doing it. We're always working. We're always working. I'm always working. Why? Because I'm here to serve you guys. And on a better day, there's no better day to serve you guys than Christmas Day, right? Good morning, Dennis. So, of course, I'm going to be live with you guys on Christmas. Are you kidding me? I hope that you guys would show up. For me, this is like the this is Christmas. Like you guys get Christmas for me every day because I'm constantly on Monday through Friday because I'm constantly talking about what spirituality. How do you rise? Think about what Christmas is about, right? Christ Mass, right? Which is Christ, which is Christos, which is what? Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is the divine within, understanding that we are the divine within, that the divine exists within us, that we are walking vessels of God, that we are walking vessels of Christ, that Christ dwells within our hearts, within us, and that we can illuminate the Christ within us if we have faith and we walk in it. That's really what it's about. So absolutely, every single day for me is Christmas. It's not just one day out of the year, but we celebrate it one day out of the year because most people don't find the time to walk in Christ every single day of their life. Some people don't. Is it bad? No. Is it wrong? No. It takes commitment and dedication and practice to do that, right? Good morning, Stephanie. I've been doing it my whole life. I've never stopped. It's never just turned off. It's always been on since I was like a little kid. I tell you guys this over and over again. And you can go 3 years back, 5 years back on my Facebook, and guess what? I was talking about it then. I'm talking about it now. Is it ever going to change? No. The thing that changes is the information that I receive and my expression and articulation on what that experience is. Does it shift? Absolutely. Am I attached to one way of seeing the world? No. That's why the engagement from you is important because I get to reshape my mind just like you do or not into things that will serve me. Why? To serve my community, my people, to give back to the world. That's why I give back over and over and over again. I don't make excuses. In fact, when I started Spirit and Coffee on Facebook, I was in the hospital on an IV doing Spirit and Coffee. When I was when I was at the airports, when I was going to Barcelona, when I was everywhere I go, I do it no matter what because this is my commitment to the planet. God said you're going to do this, and I said yes. When we jump into something so boldly, we don't make excuses. We just do it. No matter what. Am I waiting for the perfect conditions to do my live videos? No. Did I sit here and say I need to plan out my podcast? No. I just get on here and I do it. If people are on here and engaging, awesome. It helps me. But I'm going to continue to give back in the way that I know how. And this is how I know how at this point. Will it change? Absolutely. Is it always going to be this way? No, because everything changes. Am I attached to it being one way? No. I didn't have Podbean before. Now I have Podbean. Why do I have Podbean? Because now it's an expansion of Spirit and Coffee. Is it mine? Does it belong to me? No. God said you'll do this. I said yes. That's it. Very simple. So Christ lives within us. Christ dwelleth within us. Remember that when you're with your family and they're driving you nuts, please. My stepdad is cussing in the background, and I'm going, oh, do you know this is a family friendly platform? There are kids on here sometimes. I don't know who's listening. We cannot cuss on here. Thank you. But you guys couldn't hear him, so thank God. Oh, I love them. It's Christmas joy in our house, though. We're lighthearted. We laugh at each other. We give each other a hard time, but at the end of the day, we hug and laugh, and even if we get into it, we laugh at the end of it. But that's what it's about. Okay, so Christmas joy. So the 4 agreements is about your personal agreements, what you're setting up, how you're setting your foundation. We're stepping into a 4-year, which means what Emperor is stepping in. The Emperor is foundation. The Emperor does teach us about foundation. It lays the foundation, the bricks, so that we can then build from that, so that when we build our tower, when we're building our empire, that it's built on something that's solid, rather than building from something that's going to collapse in just a while. How do we do that? We do it with love. We build from love. We build from the principles that will give us energy rather than deplete our energy. If things are depleting our energy, it's like Jenga, I'm telling you. We pull a block and the whole thing collapses and we're like in calamity. It was like, oh God, look at this chaos. Now how do I put it back together? Can we put it back together? Absolutely, we can put it back together. How? We build the base and the foundation, but this time we have a better understanding that our foundation and base wasn't built upon firm, firm, firm values. So, again, asking what your agreements are with yourself is a time for self-reflection, a time for you to take a pause, a time for you to go meditate, listen to the thoughts that are in your head. Ask yourself how you speak to yourself. How do you speak to others? Because in our head, we're beating ourselves up. Oh, I screwed up. Oh, I did that wrong. Oh, I forgot to do this. I'm so stupid. You know, those types of things. Think about it. You're calling yourself stupid. You're saying you're messed up. How are you ever going to get out of that? How are you ever going to think you're worthy? How are you ever going to call yourself to a higher game if you're giving yourself that information? Instead of saying that, say, oh, this happens. I will do better next time. And I'll remember that when I do this, this happens. And so I can pivot a little bit and switch that energy rather than saying, I'm a mess up. Roberto, Brittany, good morning, Stephanie. What else do we got on here? Pika, 1975. So if we see that it's our agreements that rule our own life and we don't like the dream of our life, we need to change the agreements. When we finally are ready to change our agreements, there are 4 very powerful agreements that will help us break those agreements that come from fear and deplete our energy. These are the 4 agreements that Don Miguel Ruiz told us that came from the Toltec. Good morning, Gato. The Toltec, right, are the ancient ones. We have native traditions throughout the world that have different agreements. Do you have to use these 4 agreements? No, you can create your own. But what Don Miguel Ruiz is saying is here's a path, here's a way, one way that you can do it. Here's 4 agreements that I use that work for me. Your agreements might be different, but this is a pretty solid foundation, which is why this book has been so good, so valuable. And it came from what? Toltec wisdom. Wisdom that came from the ancients. Wisdom that came way before. Why were they telling us this and why is it being retold? Information that is valuable and important will be retold among generation upon generation. Will we take that advice? Some will, some won't. But it's like putting your hand on a stove that's hot and saying, okay, I'm not going to do that again. Or are you going to continue to do it? Well, we learn and hopefully we say, you know what? I'm going to try these agreements on. I'm going to put them on and I'm going to see if they fit. And if they fit and they're making the results happen in my life, then I'm going to continue to do it. But sometimes people get results self-sabotage. They freak out because they're like, am I worthy of this? Remember, mindset is important when we're engaging in these practices. Am I worthy enough? Do I believe that I'm worthy enough of the abundance? We're afraid of abundance, really, because we're so used to living in lack and limitation. Okay, each time you break the agreements, all the power you use to create it returns to you. If you adopt these 4 new agreements, they will create enough personal power for you to change the entire system of your old agreements. Okay, adopt these 4 new agreements. They're just new agreements, or they weren't. Maybe you were doing them before and didn't even realize it, right? Or you put different language on it, and so it sounded different, but it was the same practice, okay? You need a very strong will in order to adopt the 4 agreements. But if you could begin to live your life with these agreements, the transformation in your life will be amazing. You will see the drama of hell disappear right before your very eyes. Instead of living in a dream of hell, you will be creating a new dream, your personal dream of heaven. Remember, good morning, Corey. We create our reality. We create our own personal living hell. How do you say, how do I do that? I told you guys to do the mandala. I asked you guys, not told you. Here I go, bossy language. I asked you guys to do the mandala. And the mandala was really looking at the people that are in your penetration, in your force field, right? The closest to you. How are they influencing your life? Asking yourself that question. How does this impact my life to move forward? How? And because of that, if you started to look at those people in your life and how they influence you, you would say, okay, this is why I'm engaging in this behavior. And you would understand that, and you could take personal responsibility, and you can shift that. You can shift that, right? You can shift it and say, I'm going to have these people in my life, or this is the people I choose to have hang around with, or these are the people that I choose to engage with, and these are the types of people. And there you go. And you start to shift. And not only that, but they help you to shift your mindset. That's the cool part. Hang around with people that'll help you shift your mindset into things that you want or desire in your life. So I'm really excited because we're going to get into the actual 4 agreements now, because we are past the chapter. I think the basic chapter. What did I do with it? The marker on the book. Where did it go? Yeah, here we go. So we're going to get on to the first agreement. Now, we're going to wait for the first agreement for tomorrow, and it's going to be quite exciting because Christmas, we will go into some of these agreements. And the first one is really quite amazing. It's actually kind of, I'm just going to give you a little hint. It's kind of what I was talking about today in listening to the language in your brain. That's the critical part. Now, that is one of the hardest things to change. So I catch my own self when I speak, and I shift my language and I correct myself. Why? Not because I'm making myself wrong, but because I know that language creates. And if I get clearer about what I'm communicating, the results that I get are going to be greater. That's why. So learning to articulate with clarity, okay, comes from the mindset and what we think in our thoughts. Get clear about what you want in life, you guys. And also, what do you want to create this holiday season? What do you want to create for New Year's? What is your New Year's resolution? My New Year's resolution last year was love, be 100% committed to love. That was my resolution. Did I do it? Yeah. Was it hard? Yes. Did I go through some trying times? Yeah. Do I still love the people that I feel, quote unquote, wronged me? They didn't really wrong me, but helped to ignite some suffering in me? Sure. I forgive them. I love them. Okay. That was my commitment, to be loyal to love. Good morning, Elias. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you guys go. Have the most magical, amazing day ever. It's Monday. So have the magnificent, magical, miraculous, magnetic, marvelous Monday. And I will be seeing you tomorrow. And we're just we're getting closer. What Christmas Eve is what, tomorrow? I'll see you guys tomorrow. I do work tomorrow as well. So I will see you guys tomorrow on Christmas Eve. And we're going to start stepping into the first agreement. Perfect timing. I'm really excited about this. The first agreement, Christmas Eve, right? So we're going to start with the first agreement on the 4 agreements, okay? I need my coffee. Yes, go get your coffee. I had a double espresso this morning, by the way. I put cardamom, cinnamon. Okay, awesome. So I love you guys. Look at that. I got cinnamon in my teeth. Okay. Okay. So I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow. And maybe we could talk about our life goals for the new year after the Christmas edition. We'll start talking about setting goals, because that's important, because most people want to set goals for the new year, right? It's an opportunity to step into the new. And everybody's talking about it, so it makes it easy. Okay. Love you, love you, love you. Mean it, mean it, mean it. Bye. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.